Just bring us up to date with what exactly happened here.
Yes, well, both sides have been giving their versions of events, Hamas giving slightly more detail. Hamas, of course, is the Islamist militant group that dominates Gaza. It says there was an Israeli operation inside its territory in southern Gaza, near the town of Khan Yunis, and that Israeli assailants were in a car going past a group of armed men. They targeted and killed one officer who's been named as Noor Baraka. He was the deputy commander of Hamas's military wing. Hamas says there was then an exchange of fire and shelling, with Israel firing some 40 missiles into the area. And meanwhile, Hamas gunmen gave chase of the Israelis back to the border, and it's condemned what it calls a cowardly Israeli attack. Now, on casualties, different reports say either 6 or 7 Palestinians were killed. Hamas says they included 4 of their militants. The Israeli military version from the Israeli Defense Force, it confirms there was a special forces operation in the area and that there was an exchange of fire, and that one of the Israeli officers was killed. He was reportedly a lieutenant colonel, and another one was wounded and has been taken to hospital. Israel says Hamas responded with missiles launched into Israeli territory that didn't cause any damage or injuries, but it says 17 rockets were fired and 3 intercepted. It's created something of a security alert. A railway line's been closed and school has been cancelled in communities bordering the Gaza Strip.
And of course, clashes on the Gaza Strip are not uncommon, but there had been a period of relative calm very recently.
Yes, absolutely, which raises the question as to why this has happened now. Yes, Egypt and Qatar have been involved with the UN in trying to broker a long-term ceasefire. Those efforts had been intensifying, and it's thought some progress had been made. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu says the operation was justified to bring calm to southern Israel. He says there'd been internal tensions destabilizing Gaza. And he also said this was needed to avoid a humanitarian crisis. Now, interestingly, Israel has been allowing the supply of fuel just recently into Gaza for electricity. It's also authorized Qatar to begin paying the salaries, literally carrying suitcases of money into Gaza to pay the salaries of Hamas officials, and that's created something of a dispute within right-wing elements of the Israeli government, perhaps suggesting this is being too soft on Hamas. The Israeli media is playing down the significance of all this, but as you've said, Benjamin Netanyahu has cut short his visit to Paris, and of course it's brought fears of more tension after all those border clashes which started back in March and have led to more than 200 Palestinians being killed.